Welcome to Work From Your Happy Place, the podcast that equips you with the tools, know-how, and motivation to live your dreams and find your happy place. Be sure to sign up for our free weekly newsletter for a recap of the week's guests and a preview of what's in store. To sign up, simply text the word Happy Place with no space to 33444. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce the host of Work From Your Happy Place, Belinda Ellsworth.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Work From Your Happy Place. I'm your host, Belinda Ellsworth, and I'm really excited about our guest today. I have Fabienne Fredrickson with me today, and Fabienne is a powerful catalyst for solo business owners who seek to make the greatest impact they can in their work, all while creating certainty in their business and financial security in their lives. With over 20 years of experience as the founder of boldheart.com, Fabienne has been a mentor to tens of thousands of women business owners. Her company has repeatedly been recognized by the media, and Inc. magazine has named it one of America's fastest growing private companies for 3 consecutive years. It is my pleasure to welcome Fabienne to our show today.
Thank you, Belinda. Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. So let's just dive right in here. I'm really excited about everything we're going to cover today. And let's talk a little bit about your journey. Let's talk a little bit about how you are serving people today, especially women.
Yes. So just just backtracking, 21 years ago, I found myself unemployable. I was working in corporate. I was working at Food and Wine magazine, selling ad space, making $65,000 a year, and I felt dead inside. It's still a great magazine. It's just I was never meant to be working for somebody else. And I decided to take the great leap of faith and open up a nutrition practice from my home. And a tiny apartment in Manhattan. I got myself a Murphy bed so that I could turn my bedroom into a consultation room. And I just didn't attract enough clients to pay the bills. Everything was floated on credit cards, my business, my personal life. And I had dark night of the soul upon dark night of the soul, thinking, what have I done? And after a conversation at 3:00 in the morning with my father, he said, Fabienne, if there's anything that I know about you, it's that when you want something and you want it badly enough, you're going to do whatever it takes to get it. And I agreed, wiping tears from my face. I agreed. And he said, so figure out how to get clients. So I won't take you through all of the things that happened in that following year, but I created a client attraction system for myself. And I went to full capacity with my client base within 8 months. I finally could pay my bills and all that jazz. A few years later, I'm now married with a baby, the first of 3, and I get a new client. And as I always do, I call my husband at his office and I say, honey, I got a new client. Let's celebrate tonight. And he's just quiet on the line. And while always supportive, he said, please, Fabienne, no more clients. We never see you. I was working on evenings and weekends, and I didn't realize that you could make money in your business, lots of it as a woman, and also work less. And over the next few years, I basically created a way to leverage my business. And I can talk about all the different aspects of it if it serves the audience today.
Yes.
And I was able within a few years to get my business to $1 million. This was in 2008 in 9 months. And then multiply that over again. Now, I don't share this because it's interesting to anybody, because it's my story, but more importantly, that any person, any woman who wishes to make her own money and lots of it so she can feel financial security, so that she can feel safety in the world, because when women have money, they feel safe in the world. We can talk about that. And have time off and vacation and take their kids on trips and things like that. So I've created, and this is what I teach, thousands of women a year. It's how to leverage their business. And that's the name of my recent book, The Leveraged Business, How Overwhelmed 6-Figure Business Owners Can Reach 7 Figures and gain their life back.
I love that. I just got the book like 3 days ago in the mail, so I have not gotten a chance to fully embrace it. I skimmed before our interview, and it
I
looks
think you'll love
really,
it.
I know, I'm really getting excited about it. So that is on my docket for these next couple of weeks, just diving into that.
Chock full of information. It's everything that I teach in my leverage program, and people, our members wrote me and said, Fabienne, you're giving the entire program away in the book. And I said, yes, there have been books that I've read in the past that I got to halfway and I said, oh my God, this is amazing. And I called up the company and I said, I want to work with you because I can't implement this all on my own. So the book is chock full of super actionable stuff. I think you will love it.
And you know what? I love that because I've heard the same thing about my book. It's like, well, everything is there. Like you don't even need to buy your courses because they can buy this book. And it's like, you know what? But people still will. And that really falls into that scarcity mindset. If I give all this away, then I'm not going to be working anymore. That's all people are going to do. And that really isn't true at all.
No, but let me ask you this, Belinda. When you've read a book and you just spent 6 hours reading the first third of it, and you're grasping for something that's interesting or valuable, and you're like, I cannot believe I just wasted 6 hours. You don't trust that person. You realize they don't have integrity. Conversely, you get to 6 pages and you've already written down 4 things in your notebook. That is a person that you are going to follow, that you're going to recommend and perhaps buy from in the future. So it's just about how you show up when you put content out there. It's huge.
Right. I love that. Yes. And you're absolutely right. I want to go back to one little step because I think that this is probably the biggest piece for a lot of our entrepreneurs, and that is attracting clients.
Yeah.
So you said in a very short window, you're crying, you're like, oh my gosh. And then you're like, okay, pull my sleeves up and let's get busy. Mm-hmm. What are some of the things you did in that space to get your schedule completely filled or your client base filled?
Okay. It sounds overly simple, but it's the thing that nobody really does, or you read about it, but then your limiting beliefs get in the way and you do the opposite. So number one, this is where we start at Bold Heart, is we say, who is your client?
Right.
Who do you want to be a hero to if you could only serve one type of person? Now, at Bold Heart, we serve men too. We have like 98% women. We will not turn away a man if he leads with his heart. But all of our marketing is for the woman who is a consultant, a coach, a trainer, an author, a speaker, somebody who is usually in the advice-giving business, even if they're an architect or a personal trainer. The key here is that most people will say, oh no, I don't have enough clients. Let me open up my target audience and widen the net. But what happens when you do that is you dilute your marketing message so that the person who lands on your website, here's my thing is I want somebody to go to your website and say, oh my God, Belinda is speaking to me. How does she know me so well? So what you have to understand when you want to attract a lot of clients is, who is this person specifically, and give her a name. It could be a compilation of a bunch of different clients, or it could be Rachel that you worked with 2 years ago and she fits the profile. So who is it specifically, and don't widen the net. Number 2, what does she struggle with? What is she tossing and turning over in the middle of the night? What is it that scares her, frightens her, makes her struggle, challenge her? Use words that she uses. Imagine her at TGI Fridays on a Friday, having a Chardonnay with her girlfriend and her best girlfriend. And when the friend says, how's business? Imagine, let's call her Rachel, say, and then whatever she says, that's what you want to put in your marketing message. Are you struggling with? Do you have difficulty with? Do you wish you could just? And so if you can get clear about who she is, what she struggles with the most, her pain points. And then finally, if you can speak to her greatest aspirations, if I could just, how would she answer that? What would she pay anything and do anything to have? What are her greatest motivations for whatever it is that you sell? What is the ultimate end result? And that is what people buy. Now, obviously, you're not going to sell an end result you can't provide. That's
Right.
out of integrity, and that is not the Bold Heart way. But if you can provide that, and then if you can love her up through all of your marketing, if you go to boldheart.com, you sign up for my book, you sign up for my newsletter, you go look at all of my videos and all of that, people always feel two things. They feel, one, wow, Fabienne, you are the real deal, super authentic, super vulnerable, really big giver. But number two, they say, I feel so loved in all of your marketing communications that I actually can't wait to open them up. The reason I say that, Belinda, is like, especially women are so tired of feeling like a commodity, like a number. Everybody wants to feel significant. Everybody wants to feel understood, heard, loved, because some people don't even feel loved in their own home. But if they can feel loved in your programs, in your offerings, and especially in your marketing, they will buy. And when you do all of these things, and there's more, of course, otherwise I would be teaching my programs for the last 21 years. But if you can start with that, your practice will always be full.
And I think that's, I've heard that framed in different ways, but I think getting very specific about those 3 questions. I have a lot of people that just take you way down this avatar rabbit hole and spend so much time on that. And I think it's important, but I think those other 2 questions are equally as important.
People buy solutions to their problems.
Absolutely.
They will throw money. They will plunk down their credit card to stop, not only to stop the pain of the dark night of the soul and stop the feeling of self-doubt that they have, which is, oh my God, something must be wrong with me. Why can't I make this work? Whether it's, weight loss or business growth or whatever. But they also have a dream inside, deep under the layers of self-doubt. They have this dream, this little spark. And if you can show them that their spark is real and you can fan the flames, not from a manipulative place, because that's not how we do things, but more like, I can help you do this. And it doesn't have to be this painful. It can be easy. And you can love her through the process and show her that other people have, go like, this is what we do on our website. There's I forget if it's called success stories or raving fans, but hundreds and hundreds of case stories when they can get inspired by hearing that other people have gotten a transformation, because people buy transformation. I hope everybody listening writes this down. People buy transformation. They can read the transformation. They can watch videos of the transformation. They will know that it's possible for them too. And when they have that, they'll say yes to themselves. It's not even they'll say yes to you. First, they say yes to themselves before they say yes to you. And then we're off to the races and changing yet another life.
Yeah, I always call that spark. When you said that spark, I refer to that as hope. It is that hope within themselves. They have a dream, but then they get that spark that is, this is possible. This is totally possible for me. So I love that. Totally love that. All right. So let's then continue in this. So you then talked about, and I think that this is so true of especially of women. We're going to really, we have a very large female audience as well. And they really, really struggle with this, if I make money being successful. Like, I actually see that even more so than, I'm making a lot of money. And then, like you said, in what am I sacrificing for that? Because you want to be successful. You want to prove yourself. And then all of a sudden it's like, at what quality? But then the flip side of that, which is what I see more of, is either I don't know where that comes from. Like either I don't deserve it, or if I'm making a lot of money, then people will look down on me, or they will think that I'm not fulfilling my duties as a mom or as a wife, as a, somebody in the home. I mean, these are things that
real.
struggle is real. So I know it.
Real. So I know this because in the beginning, 20 years ago, I would hand one gal, a client, my client attraction system, and I'd say, you put this in place, and she'd be off to the races and she'd get clients very quickly. I'd hand a similar gal the same client attraction system, both customized to their business, and she wouldn't necessarily go apply it. And there were feelings around deserving, limiting beliefs around deserving, being worthy of. What will my family, my friends think if I start making money? What people will judge me about how much time I spend with my kids. Am I doing enough of the soccer mom stuff? Sometimes they don't want to emasculate their husband by making more than him, so they create this limit, this their own glass ceiling. There's the fear of success, and then there's the fear of failure. What if I try and it doesn't work? We're socialized as women. We could go down this rabbit hole, right? We're socialized as women to be the nice girl and to not rock the boat and to work hard. That's, if it came too easily, it's not good enough. And so here's what I discovered, Belinda, is it's mindset is actually more important than the tactics. So yes, I talk about funnels, we talk about webinars, we talk about how to charge and get it, raise your prices, how to, move from hours for dollars to, passive income. We teach all of that stuff, but not until we've done all the mindset work first. We call it mindset first methodology, because I can give you the exact script to close the sale, and we do. But if you think that selling is bad, you will always sabotage yourself. So especially with women. And I have theories around the fact that it's been a man's business world for 5,000 years, that women have been tolerated more than revered. And this, I believe that we are changing the paradigm of women in business by having them be bolder, hence the name Bold Heart. To be bolder in your actions, to be bolder in your worthiness, that I deserve to have a seat at the table, and I'm not going to be masculine about it. I will stay feminine, but I will be powerfully feminine. And so this is about shifting the beliefs. If you have a belief that they won't pay for this, we got to change the belief before we try to raise the rates. If you have a belief that your friends and family on Facebook will, abandon you or criticize you if you start showing up on Facebook and doing a live a day, we got to change do you really care about what they think? Because if you do, you say you want to get to 100K a year or 100K a month. It's not going to happen. You need to get out there and be more visible. So we work on the visibility beliefs. We work on how can you do this without worrying about what your friends and family will say. Because in the end, the people who will be criticizing you, they will not necessarily be there in 3 years or 30 years. But then have you diminished yourself, your light, your potential because of other people who don't actually matter that much to you? And so we work on all the mindset-y stuff first. And then that's when they show up and take bigger action. It's 95% mindset, everybody, 5% strategy. As a business coach, I like people saying, are you saying that it's only 5% strategy? Yeah. I mean, once you have the right mindset, you will implement the strategy. You will implement the scripts. You will implement the business model. You will hire the team. You'll set up the systems, but not if you have all that niggly stuff underneath the surface.
I know for myself, I've always been a skill set trainer and teacher, and I've really focused on that. And I've seen the same thing though. Why does one person take off running and another one doesn't, and you give them the exact same information?
Yeah.
And I don't know if I really fully, I mean, I've always said it's your attitude and you got to get your mindset straight, but I don't know if I fully believed that 100% until COVID happened. And I had to apply it to myself in a whole new way. And then I saw how powerful it really was, because that was it was tough when you are either in the arts or speaking, when you make your living on being in public in an arena or auditorium, whatever that was, singing, theater, speaking, and you suddenly have zero anything scheduled. I lost my entire year calendar in about 10 days is what it took. The first half of the year was gone in about 5 days. And then people, I think, waited. And then people just said, oh gosh, we just need to make another plan. And then the other whole rest of the year was gone in 10 days of, working a whole, everything that you do to fill that schedule. So I really had to rely on mindset and staying really clear about my focus, what served me, how I was feeling in a day. It was not easy, but
well, I have to tell you, so Belinda, I'm so sorry. And there are so many, thousands, millions of stories like that. And we have several hundred members in Boldheart in either the growth track or the leverage track every year. And they went into total panic as everyone would or did. And my whole job the first 2 or 3 months was like, I taught them, I created this whole thing, pivot your business, but it really was pivot your mindset.
Pivot your mind.
Stop watching the news. Get off of Facebook. It's, I'm holding a glass of water, and you can, if the glass of water is full of poison, are you going to drink it? Is it going to be good for you? And I kept telling them, if you watch Facebook and you watch the news, all they want to do is get you so riled up with fear that because it glues you to the TV. It's like drinking a glass of water, a poison. Stop it. Most of the damage control we did that helped them create, actually, for most of our members, last year was their best year ever. But it took 6 months of pivoting their business, which was mostly pivoting their mindset. And then it's going back to the 95% mindset, the leveraged business, the book that you'll see you just got it a few days ago. What you'll notice, Belinda, is it says it in the introduction. It's entirely mindset. It's like, if you want to get to 100K a month, you need to change your mindset about your team, your time, your systems, your business model. So it's an entire book about mindset shifts. And once the shift has been made, you can then go and hire the team and create the systems and shift your business model from 1-to-1 hours for dollars to one for many or passive income, so that you get your life back. And this is why just for 21 years, I've seen it. It's not only about strategy and tactics. It is almost entirely about mindset.
Wow, that is powerful. So let's get to know you a little bit better. So what's been a standout moment for you? What's one of your greatest accomplishments?
I don't know if it sounds like I'm repeating myself, but on a professional level,
sure,
to get to $1 million in my business with 3 kids at home. I mean that, and then after that, multiplying that really was, especially like at a time where the financial markets were crumbling, that was probably my greatest professional accomplishment. And, now I've multiplied that, and I take like 16 to 18 weeks of vacation per year. I just came back on Sunday, so 2 days ago, from 4 weeks in Provence, where I worked 4 hours per week. That is, I would think, professionally, and just being an example to my kids, they think it's perfectly normal to have 300 plus clients. It's like their mindset is like, my son is 16, Luke, and he has his own business and he's already making several hundred euros per month. We live in Paris. So on a professional level, that's it. And of course, on a personal level, it's my family. But the
Sure.
idea that I was able to, with my husband, make the decision to move to Paris for 1 year, and now we're on our 6th year. We've sold our house in Connecticut, and now we live in Paris full time. My kids are in French and British schools here in France, and buying a house in Provence. The idea on a personal level is to live the dream, whatever your dream is, right? So your dream could be to, live in the mountains or have the camper van life. Maybe it's to, like us, we've raised the funds for 26 schools in Africa. Like, what is the dream and why are you settling? This is the question I asked myself. And I said, well, if it's over tomorrow, why am I waiting till the end of my life to make my dreams come true? And so part of everything that I share, this part is in my other book called Embrace Your Magnificence. Get out of your own way and live a richer, fuller, more abundant life. And that's just like personal growth. Is what is the dream that's whispering in your heart? And where do you stop yourself in making it happen? So on a personal level, I wanted to come to France. I find this to be blissful, living here. And it's also this idea of saying to all other women, you can have your dream too, especially if you leverage your business. You can live the personal vision that you have for your life now, not later.
I love that.
My 2 biggest accomplishments. And of course, 3 humans that I absolutely adore, but
Yeah. So, sort of the opposite of that, then what's a challenge you have faced in your business? And then how did you overcome that? And I'm really looking more for like a specific story, like that our listeners can probably relate to.
I've made so many mistakes, but I would say that a very big one, and this is going to this may ruffle some feathers. Okay.
Okay.
I'll actually give you an example within the last year. We were an in-person company. So I would fly back to the US for 5 different full weeks a year. So I would leave my family, fly to the US, spend a full week per year with hundreds of our members, 5 times a week. And there was, so the label that I'm putting on this biggest mistake is putting others' needs before my intuition, my heart, and what I want. So some people will label what I'm about to say as, how dare she be so selfish, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I decided in June of last year that we weren't not necessarily going back to any sense of normal anytime soon. Some people would say, so I said, we are becoming 100% virtual company. Everything is flipping to Zoom. We have been doing Zoom for many years, so our members were already used to it. In fact, they were able to flip because they've been using Zoom with us. But there are some people who said, I did not sign up for this. I demand that we continue to meet in person. And there are some people who were totally happy with saying, oh my God, I saved like thousands from flights and hotels and car service and food and all of that. And the ability, first, the fear of I will not be liked, I will lose clients if I listen to my heart and put other people's needs first. And then one day I just said, wait, whose business is this?
Mm-hmm.
This is my business. This is my intuition. This is what I believe is best. And I will do what I believe is best no matter what people think, no matter how they will react. And of course, I did all the right things. I'll give you this instead, and did all the things. But
Sure.
especially as women, we are bred and raised and reared to be nice. And anytime we put our needs before somebody else's needs, we are called a bitch.
Yep.
And that's the last thing that we want to be called. Like, she's so selfish, and look at her, and she's putting her needs and her money before us. We are so raised to be the nice girl that whenever we try to really listen to our heart and say, what's good, what's the best situation for all? If we do that, we're hurting other people. And when we hurt other people, that's the belief. And that is the biggest thing that I would say I learned over the last 18 months is put your needs first. Do the right thing. Like, don't be a jerk. Like, take care of, make the change elegantly so it has the greatest benefit to all. But stop putting other people's needs before your own. If anyway, in 3 years, in 1 year, in 6 months, they'll be gone from your life. Because clients move on. I get to keep clients sometimes for 5 to 7 years or more. But those people in 7 years will be gone anyway. And if I keep putting their needs every year before mine, I become enslaved in my business. Because do you see where I'm going with this?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Don't be a nice girl, but don't be a jerk. You can stay feminine, but listen to your heart. Like, put your ear to your heart and listen hard. What do you want for your business? What do you want for your life? And why are you putting everybody else's needs before your own? Seriously, where do you stop and why? And it's usually I want to be liked.
Yes. Or you feel like if you're not liked, then people won't follow you anymore. And that's just really not true, or that isn't somebody that you needed anymore in that space.
But then your life is not your own, right? Then
Right.
you're living life for everybody else. And we already do this at home. We're putting everybody, we're not even on our to-do list.
Absolutely. So this is one of the signature questions of our show. So what does working from your happy place mean to you?
I think it's a combination of what we just touched upon.
Yep.
I think for me, working from my happy place is, number one, making an impact in people's lives. I am a catalyst. That's my what do you call that? Archetype. I want to go into somebody's life, make it better, and then I will make my way onto something. So that being an impact in somebody's life, a catalyst.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, doing work I love, 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 that brings tears to my eyes and fills my heart. And number three, freedom. Freedom to craft the lifestyle that I want. Freedom to say no if I want to and not be beholden to anybody. And I think it's also financial freedom, because when you make good money and lots of it, you are no longer beholden to anybody or anything. I don't need to go get a toxic job. If my relationship happened to not be a good one, I wouldn't need to stay in it. Like, millions and millions of women stay in certain situations because they don't make their own money. So the financial piece is that piece of freedom that is massively important. So I would say impact, fulfillment, doing work you love, freedom, and financial freedom. That's 5 things to a happy place for me.
That is awesome. Let's chat about this financial freedom just for a minute. I know this is a really big deal for you.
Yeah.
And I've read it in a lot of your information that was sent over, and I always love that, because I think it's freedom to not have to settle or not have to live in a situation that you don't want to. But why is it that so many women struggle with this sort of financial freedom and achieving it, or that if they do, it's shameful. I know we talked about it earlier, but like, I just feel like we haven't really hit the nail on the head, if you will, as far as women listening to this and understanding what that freedom really represents. What does financial freedom? Because people worry, and then when they worry so much about that, it makes them make choices that aren't going to serve them best. And I like to say most of the time, just settle for things that don't make them happy.
Okay, I'm going to give you 2 words that could be like bone chilling, but nobody's talking about this. This is why I'm beating the drum about this. 2 words: economic imprisonment. The economic imprisonment of women is it's really, you know how, you know the expression, a fish doesn't know that it's in water? Women have been, our society supports the economic imprisonment of women in the sense that, so just recently in the last, like 50, 80 years, we've been able to get jobs, open up a business, get education. Okay. Out of like last thousands of years, this is the first time in history that we can get educated to then go work and go make our own money. So there's so much backlash to that as well. I don't know, so when I was living in Connecticut, I'm trying to make friends with the ladies in the neighborhood. There are the women who don't work and are they're working as a mom and raising their kids.
Sure.
This is a sensitive topic and people could like really throw daggers at me. But my experience being a successful working mom is that there is, just as there is judgment in one way, there's judgment on the way back. There is a thread in society that women who work are threatening, that they're not feminine, and they certainly don't want to emasculate their husband. So this is I'm just saying society is like this. Even if you have your master's, it is often expected that you drop everything and raise the kids. I see that. For me, I honor that. And I see that. For me, I'm a better mom because I work. Okay. I just know this about myself. I have things that I want to do. And I've set up my business to be so leveraged that I actually spend so much time with my kids, comparatively speaking. And what I have found is that if we can, I tell my kids all the time, even my boys, make your own money. I tell my 18-year-old daughter, by all means, even if you choose to stay at home with your kids, continue making your own money. Because what happens, let's say you raise kids for 18 years. When you come back to the workforce, when you come back to having your own business, there is this huge gap where people don't take you seriously anymore. You don't have the traction. So even if you do an Arbonne thing on the side, or you just, whatever it is, I have had too many people come up to the mic at my events, too many women come up to the mic at my events, and they are imprisoned in a toxic job, a toxic relationship, a toxic situation, because they don't have enough money to leave. They do not have a choice. What I'm about to say can sound however it does, but I don't need Derek Fredrickson, my husband. I choose him every day. Every day I love him. I choose to be with him. I make my own money. If something were to not be good, I could take it. He's an amazing man. That would never happen. But I could, at a moment's notice, change my situation Because I have access to funds. Even if I didn't, I have the knowledge to even if everything were taken away from me, I could start over on a dime because I have all the knowledge of client attraction and marketing and sales and how to run a team, how to hire, how to leverage a business, how to create communities, how to create passive income. I know how to do that. And this is why I'm saying to my children all the time, yeah, go work for a corporate for a short time if you want to. But if you can, make your own money, because there's no cap to how much you can make, especially when you learn all the mindset, especially when you learn everything that I teach in the leverage business, right? My kids are going through the programs that I teach now, which is setting them up for making money. Make your own money, because no one will tell you how to live. No one can take your freedom away. No one can tell you what you can do or what you can't do. And no one will put a cap on your income when you do. And that is the ultimate freedom. And I want this for women especially. Yes, it's great for the men, but the men have had many privileges for the last several thousand years. And I want to end the economic imprisonment of women. Is this heavy? Is this a heavy topic?
You know what? It is, but it isn't, because it's so true. It is absolutely so true. And I'll just give you just a tiny little example of of what you have to deal with. And so my daughter's in theater, and they have this, there's one theater that she works out of. And so the moms are expected to volunteer. And if you can't volunteer for some reason, then you can pay a certain amount that they have decided upon. I think it was $150 to opt out of the volunteering. And then that gives them money then to either hire somebody to do that or to pay the other people. Who knows? I don't know. But you can opt to pay out of your volunteer hours. So I have a busy life and I travel and I've got a really successful business. So I'm like, okay, I will opt out and I'm going to pay the money, which I did. Well, it didn't end there, because not only was I treated horribly by all the other moms and the director of the theater, but my daughter was too. And it's like, these are the rules you set in place. But somehow I didn't care, or I wasn't helping out. I wasn't volunteering. Somehow that was a reflection about how I didn't care about her. All I cared about was money. Like, it was just went on and on, to the point where I told her, you don't need to work at that theater, because, oh my goodness, this isn't right. It isn't right to treat people this way. Like, I had to get her to see that it's not me. Like, you need to understand, they set the rules. If they didn't want that, then they should have said, if you can't volunteer, then you can't be in this theater program. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was an awful thing that she went through, I went through, and we were treated horribly by a lot of the people for just this stupid thing. But it isn't. It's big. It's
really important. The fact that you could pay that $150, there's some people who can't. There's this one woman who follows me on Instagram and who sent me a note. And she said, I'm an American living in Provence. I see that you just spent April in Provence. How do I make my own money? I'll explain. I'm an American living here. I married a French guy. We live in Nice. He's just had an affair. I put my entire career on hold for 19 years. Now we're separated. I have no money, nothing to my name. I don't have a career. I guess I'll have to go back to the US. It doesn't matter where she has to go back. But she's like, I have nothing to show for my life. I hear what you're saying, Fabienne. I need to make my own money, and lots of it. Where do I start? And I mean, she's probably in her late 40s, mid 50s. Where is she going to start? This is the thing, right? So we have this idea of I don't know. This is me beating the drum. And I'm sure it could be a very provocative thing to say because we all want to be there for our children. But I think you can have both. That's what I'm trying to say. You create a leveraged business, you can make your own money. Even if you make $50K a year and you're good with that, you don't need to make several million a year. Not everybody's going to do that. But if you make $50K a year and you can be there for your children, that is what I'm talking about.
That's awesome. So in closing today, Fabienne, this has been awesome. What advice would you give to others, which you just sort of have, but what advice would you give to those sort of wanting to get on this entrepreneurial journey and sort of have that freedom?
Yeah, I would say if you don't yet have a business, it would be what I said earlier is to put your ear to your heart and listen hard to what you are exceptional at, even if you take it for granted. Every single person has, I talk about this in the beginning of the book, every single one of us has a life's purpose. We all have talents and unique abilities that others don't. We take them for granted. We think that we can't get paid for those things, but those are the things we are masterful at. And if you don't yet have enough, your own business, start getting paid for the things you do well and keep getting better at that. If you are already in your business, it would be focus on your strengths and delegate your weaknesses, create systems, document everything, hire strategically, everything that's in the book. And you can then set up a life that you love.
Perfect. So how can our listeners find you? Where's the best place to get in touch with you and get your book? Tell us the name of the book again so people know to get that.
The book is called The Leveraged Business, How Overwhelmed Six-Figure Business Owners. Oh yeah, how overwhelmed six-figure business owners reach seven figures and gain their life back. You can find me on boldheart.com and on all the social media channels and LinkedIn as either Fabienne, Fabienne, or Fabienne Fred. And then let's get to know each other on social media. And if this feels right, this could be just the thing.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. You had so many pearls of wisdom today, and it was delightful, just absolutely delightful chatting with you. And I know it's just so needed, the work with the mindset, but also the belief and this financial freedom. These are all huge issues, especially for women. And I love what you shared today. So thank you.
Thank you. It was an honor to be here. Thank you, Belinda.
To all of our listeners, thanks so much for joining us today. Don't forget to hit subscribe or follow as we appreciate you and don't want you to miss a single great episode. Rate and reviews are always great, but the best form of compliment that you can give us is to share this with a friend. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time on Work From Your Happy Place.
Thanks for joining us at Work From Your Happy Place. If you like what you hear, please share it with your friends and be sure to rate and review us on iTunes or Stitcher. For a free gift on finding your own happy place, please visit workfromyourhappyplace.com and click on the free audio button. Thanks again for listening.